All right. So we're recording now. So I had this question I was really building up, and I thought it'd be good to start the podcast with. So um, what are how many different, like, I guess you could say, techniques or ways on like masturbation? I was just fucking. Don't answer.
Right. I'm a professional.
I was just kidding. Don't answer that.
You lefty or righty?
Or do you use your feet?
There's a way to incorporate everything. So, this is my Nino, my godfather also.
My brother growing up.
Right.
Also, my best man at my wedding. So we finally got him on. We've been talking about getting him on here for a while. So we finally got him here. Been all over the world, Arizona, Kansas, DC for a little bit. Prague.
Even lived in Massachusetts in the mountains for a summer.
He's been a whore everywhere.
I slept for money.
Don't knock the hustle.
So let's formally introduce him for people who don't know. This is Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, my Nino, his fucking brother growing up. So, very quickly, I want to, because some of my favorite fucking stories in this entire family are the stories that you guys have.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the stories from, all my different cousins and all my different uncles, you guys have had, the funniest ones. So what is, the most famous story for this podcast? What's the most famous one that you guys always fucking reminisce on?
So, how about this? Before we go into that, Lizzie had asked, she had a great question. She said she wanted to ask you, what's your most profound memory of us when we were little kids? Because me and Gabe grew up since we were babies together. So your most profound memory of growing up with me from when we were babies to teenage years ish and adults. What are your three most memories you've had with me growing up?
Damn.
First with babies, like when we were young, not necessarily babies, but young.
Young. I remember we went to the swap meet with your uncle and we had those clickers.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I spent the night at your house that weekend.
I already know what you're saying.
And I pulled out my teeth with one of those little crocodile clickers.
Oh.
I just put it had sharp little spiky teeth on it, and it would make a clicking sound, and I was just and I ripped out my tooth.
Yeah, he ripped his tooth out. It was all fucking bloody.
And, I remember to keep it safe so that I could get my money, I put it inside your little, how your little mailbox, it would have
the flap.
Fall down.
Yeah.
I put it inside there to keep it safe.
I do remember that. You hid it in
hilarious.
there.
I remember you had those two spiders. You had Hulk and
oh shit, that's right.
I didn't hear about this.
Spiders in a jar, dude.
Yeah, and then so there were garden spiders that I caught in the yard, but they're fucking enormous. You would have been freaked out. You would have been freaked out. And one was bright green, and the other one I called hairy because it had hair on it.
Oh, fuck that.
Huge huge fucking spider.
It had to have been a tarantula then.
It was fucking.
No, it wasn't that huge.
But it was maybe,
for a spider, not.
If it got hair on it, you sure it wasn't a baby tarantula?
I don't know, because it did kill Hulk. So Hulk was way bigger, and Hulk was the green one. And I put him in a jar, and I closed him. I poked holes in it. And I would feed. I didn't know what they ate, so I'd feed them flies and grass and shit. And Hulk was way bigger, and they lasted a few weeks, and then eventually Harry killed Hulk. He ate him.
How'd you know he ate him and he didn't just escape? You just had his fucking remains, one of his legs.
Yeah, he sucked up. He mummified him, I guess.
Wrapped him up in the.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then sucked his insides out.
He fucking mob bossed his ass.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I remember I don't know if I should say this on the podcast.
Well, we can edit it if it's bad.
One time, Eric taught me how to do the weenie clap.
What the fuck did I just remember this.
Fuck, I can't believe you remember that.
That's gotta stay in.
That hurts.
That's gotta stay in. That's gotta.
Oh shit. The weed. It's not necessarily your weenie, it's your nuts.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how I discovered it.
Oh, God.
But I discovered. Let me stand up.
We about to get a demonstration.
So I discovered that if you like arch your legs a little bit and you swing your hips really fucking hard, your nuts club against your.
Wait, so what the fuck does this fit in the Hulk and fucking hair?
This is a different story. Oh, my head hurts. So I figured it out. I thought it was the coolest shit ever, and I was like, "Hey, check this shit out."
I was like, how'd you do that?
So I taught him how to clap his nuts on his ass
fucking
crack.
I wanted to do that. Oh, man.
That's gotta stay in. That one's for sure.
So
staying in.
what age group would you say we were in that? My head hurts.
4th, 5th grade, maybe?
Yeah. Ugh.
That's fucking funny, man.
What else?
Wait, what was Lizzie's question?
Like his best memories of us when we were little,
Most
middle
vivid
age,
or
and then
whatever.
adults.
Oh, okay. So
And
you kind
then-
of covered the younger ones.
Yeah.
And, I
You're
remember,
crying.
I remember when Greta pulled the strap out on us.
Oh yeah, my grandma pulled the gun on us. All right, so this might get us in trouble, but it was more shocking because we were in the body shop. They had like this front office that
Right.
my grandparents
With the
owned a body
computer.
shop for 25 years, and they had a computer in there, and there was
The
like
old
2
desktops,
doors.
Like, you had the little tower,
Right.
Yeah, old
the
school.
big monitor.
It had 2 doors. One was like not really used, and then one that they used to open, and they had mail slots.
Gotcha.
And this was a time where our family was going through some shit. I'll leave the details of that out. But what made it bad was me and this fool were in there watching porn on the computer.
Back in the LimeWire days, downloading all kinds of
Brong,
viruses.
brong. You had to hear the noise to dial up.
Yeah.
So we're already on
It's
edge.
like, who answered the phone? We're downloading something. It
Yeah, we're trying to download, so stay off the fucking phone.
was a good song.
We're downloading music.
That's fucking
So
funny.
we're already on edge, right? We're already
Right.
kind of like, we don't want to get caught. So we're like, we're looking around our shoulder. And I don't know how, but my grandma pulled the gun on us. She like opened the door thing and poked the gun through.
No, it was the mail slot.
Yeah, the mail slot.
Yeah, like, no, what she did was he kind of hit the door, like, it was like, we both stopped and we like looked at the door. We're
To
like,
get
what
your
the hell was
attention.
that? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we see the little mail slot open and the gun comes in and we're like, oh! Like, we jumped up.
We
and
fucking
just
ran, dude. I even think I fell. Like, I was like, oh, shit. And we fucking ran. She passed me, and I'm like skitting on the floor. My knees were all scraped. I get up, and we're fucking running. We thought we were going to
We
die.
booked it. Like, imagine just sitting there and a little fucking gun pulls out of the slot, like, out
Right.
of nowhere.
How many people?
Holy shit.
How many people can say that their grandmother pulled the gun on them?
So did she do it because she knew what you guys were doing, or she did it to fucking prank you guys and
Just
scare
to,
you?
she's always
She
been
loves
known
to
for.
scare people.
She and I've talked about that on the podcast. My
Right,
grandma's
you have.
very well known for scaring us. She just loves to fucking scare people to the point where she pulls a gun on you.
She's born in October. She's a bruja.
Yeah, that's what she always says, dude. Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was more teenage years.
Holy shit, you guys have fucking just like leftover tears on the crest of your fucking eyes.
Oh
That's
god.
fucking amazing.
There's a
How old
lot,
were you guys
man.
when that happened?
You were already working at the shop, so
Yeah, teening. I was in high school, so I was,
Right,
in
right,
high
like-
school. I was working in the shop, so teenager.
Like 16?
Not that. Probably 14, 15.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
hey, do you remember? This is a younger one again, but do you remember when there was that giant roll of toilet paper, or what looked like toilet paper in the back of the shop? It was this big
Dude,
roll
sounds
of paper,
familiar.
white paper.
Oh shit.
And it was a roll of paper, but we all thought it looked like a giant roll of toilet paper. And Bobby took a dump in the back of the shop and used it. We were like, oh, it's toilet paper. Just use that.
Just use that to wipe your ass.
And then I remember, I don't know who found it, but I remember hearing my mom and dad talking about, like, somebody took it dump in a tire in the back.
We had a crazy childhood too. Like, we're gonna get back onto your stories, but do you remember when Uncle Tony used to? There was a big ass pit bull. Was it Samson? The biggest fucking pit bull you ever seen. Huge, ripped, big as fuck. My grandpa used to put some lokes on him. He'd walk around with the lokes. Scariest fucking pit bull you ever seen. And my Uncle Tony would get a baseball. Yeah, loyal as fuck. He'd put a baseball in his mouth and rile him up, and the pit bull would lock jaw. You ever heard about pit bulls lock jaw? Right. He'd lock jaw on the baseball, and he'd tell us, whoever gets that baseball from him gets $5 in a lollipop. And back then, $5 was a fucking lot.
Yeah, that's fucking bank.
Dude, you and Bobby.
You're balling, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hours trying to catch that dog slipping, like waiting for him to like put that shit down. Like he knew it was part of the game, so we'd wait and like, he put it down. We'd run. We'd go to grab it. We'd fucking run.
Dog will take you both out.
Fuck yeah, big. We used to ride him like a fucking horse. That's how big he was.
Damn.
We used to sit on his back and he'd fucking take off and we think we were fucking cool.
Fucking Clint Eastwood or some shit.
Like more like Arnold Schwarzenegger, bro. The dog was like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Fuck yeah, huge badass pit bull.
That's fucking funny.
Or when we were little, do you remember that time when and I hate to bring this up because you're probably gonna get pissed off because you're mad in the situation. Me, you, and Bobby were playing on not the house on the right of the shop, but on the little apartment things to the left on the backyard.
The ones that Sylvia used to live?
Yeah. And Gypsy the dog took a shit.
Yeah.
And Gabe has always been like a germaphobe. And Gypsy
You know how we were talking about earlier when I don't like to shit in porta potties? Like,
right.
Like, I get grossed out easily, you know?
Right.
So the dog stepped in its own shit and it was bright yellow.
Oh.
No, it rolled in its own shit.
Yeah, so it was all
on the side.
It was all over the dog.
Fuck.
And that dog loved Gabriel. Damn. Loved Gabriel. So it's chasing Gabe up and down the fucking backyard.
I'm running, so it's like thinking I'm playing with it. So I'm like, ah.
He's so upset he's crying, and me and Bobby are laughing. We're laughing so hard, and he got so pissed because he was like, fucking make him stop, get him, and we're just laughing. And he's chasing him to the point where eventually he threw up.
No.
It started jumping on me.
Oh.
It jumped up on me, and I was like, you've been eating onions? I can see some onion in you.
He was so fucking mad at us, dude.
That's fucking funny, man.
That was disgusting.
That's fucking hilarious.
Okay, so teenage years, grandma pulled a gun on us. What else you got?
It's in that same remember? No, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Take that back. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah,
we got a lot of time. We've only fucking all those stories. It's only been 12 minutes.
Oh shit!
We got another fucking 60 minutes to go.
I'm gonna take a little sip, wet the whistle, huh? We used to argue too on who our favorite porn star was. Yeah, you used to get mad. You used to get serious. When you're kids, you know.
Right.
You know what? So
to get fucking passionate.
So yeah,
you had
like
to
getting
fucking
mad,
Mount
dude.
Rushmore of fucking porn stars.
So I will say this: I'll be the first one to apologize to you, Gabe, on live internet for the whole world to see, because I was a fucking asshole to Gabriel when it came to music. Because Gabe has always loved to sing, always loved to sing. He loves karaoke now. And we used to be dipping somewhere in the car, and one of my favorite songs that was popping at that time, trying to bump and feel cool. And then you have Gabe in the back, fucking ugly, singing it. Word for fucking word, dude. Just going for it, and I used to get so mad at him.
I'm a human jukebox, man.
He knows all the words. Like earlier when we were doing the Tupac one, like I don't even know those words, and he just fucking goes, dude.
Right.
And I used to get so mad at him. To the point where I'd be like, dude, shut up.
Like
I'd kill his vibe, dude. Like, I'm sorry.
He would turn the music louder and I would sing louder. Like,
yeah,
just louder so I don't have to hear your ass.
Just to try to drown him out. Like, I feel so bad. Like, I was such an asshole about it. And on live internet, I'm going to apologize right now. I am so sorry. I was so dickhead about it.
I'm a singing ass motherfucker.
That's fucking funny, man.
Yeah. I used to get so mad at him, dude. And I remember one time I had a couple of his CDs and he got mad at me back and he was like, these are mine. And he took them and I was like, motherfucker, the Ja Rule, remember? Vinny Vitavici or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, fucking guy.
That was the CD with holla, holla.
Yeah. You know what? It's like, that's an unpopular opinion. Like, nobody would admit it because Ja Rule was destroyed by 50 and M and all them. Like, nobody wants to admit that Ja Rule actually had some bangers.
Rule 336, I remember that album. Fucking Benny Bitty Beachy had a couple tracks.
Yep.
He had some songs on some soundtracks too that I thought banged.
Yeah. He had some really good songs, but
And he
because
had that
he was
DMX raspiness, like
yeah.
like grittiness.
And people, because he got destroyed by M and all them, like, nobody wants to admit that they liked Ja Rule at one point. But he was fucking hot for a minute, dude.
He even had a song with J-Lo, bro.
Yeah. You know what's funny is if you watch that music video with him and J-Lo, like, he's trying to, like, get up on J-Lo, and J-Lo's like, yeah, back the fuck up, bro. You know?
Maintain distance.
For real.
Social distancing.
So any more teenage ones?
Teenage ones. I don't know. Put me on the spot. I already blew my load.
Can we just cuddle?
I need 30 minutes to recharge.
It's sensitive. What about adult? What are your most memories when we're already adults? Besides being my best man, of course. Oh, you want me to tell let me tell a story. So Gabe was the best man at our wedding, and we got married in Vegas. So Ash is like, we're walking around. I'm walking around in my tuxedo. Ash is walking around in her wedding dress, and everybody's saying congratulations. We got married very young. And Ash goes to the room. She's like, "Hey, I'm going to the room." I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna be back. We'll be down right now. We're drinking. We're drinking Jack and Coke, so we're pretty lit." So I get the great idea when you're in Vegas and you're young and stupid. Let's go to a strip club.
Right.
Gabe's not old enough to get into that strip club, but I'm like, "Don't say nothing. Just follow me in.
Yeah.
Just walk in, act like you own the place, dude. Just fucking like you know." We walk in, we get past the front doors, we're in that motherfucker. And then finally some guy comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, how old are you?" This motherfucker instantly gave his real age.
No.
And we got kicked the fuck out, dude. We got kicked out immediately.
That's fucking funny.
I mean, all my brain activity went away when I saw a pair of titties. I was like, huh? 16.
16 wide.
That's fucking
And I was so mad. I was like, "Dude, we were in there. It was dark. They can't tell."
I ended up, I'm not going to say this particular person's name, but I ended up going, years later, I ended up there at that same strip club for my 21st birthday with one of my uncles.
Oh,
And
shit.
he bought me a dance.
I'm back, bitches.
And I know you watch you watch the podcast every week. Yes, it was your father.
Oh, shit. Oh.
No.
Oh, shit.
No.
Boom.
Fucking bombshell. A fucking bombshell for the podcast.
So, if you're watching, you know.
I cannot fucking wait to hear who it is after this.
Yeah, we'll talk after. Oh, God.
Fucking
We're starting
hilarious.
family drama.
That's fucking hilarious.
So that's good teenage years because I got married in my teens. So, what about adult? What were some good memories when we were adults?
Remember at your wedding when Ashley started crying and I started laughing at her?
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah, when you guys were fucking doing your vows and shit, and she started like choking up and like crying, and I was like,
You remember too how Anthony got in trouble because he was supposed to be part of like the men's group and he forgot his dress shirt, so he wore a regular t-shirt and a jacket. And remember he used to make that stupid face. When he was just all put his hands in his pocket and just stand there.
That's fucking funny.
Oh,
I
fuck.
have to flex on my fucking siblings that I was at that wedding.
Yeah, you was a baby. You're like a month old, dude. Yeah.
I'm that motherfucker, dude. What can I say?
What can I say?
You know me. So, alright, let's get into like the 20s now. Because I know this fool had a fucking crazy lit 20s. I mean, you have stories that you want to tell with fucking Ronnie when he gets back on.
Oh, yeah.
So I know he had a lit 20s. Like, is there anything fucking particularly fucking outlandish in that era?
Well, that was when I moved away, so
Damn.
I was gone for a while.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I got one. What about when when
Oh.
Anthony was at the bartending at that bar, and me and you went to go watch football all Sunday?
Oh yeah,
Dude, we were there early, and we were fucking we're fucking eating wings, pizza all day, and just pounding beers. And Anthony would say, "Whatever you do, just keep one beer there, and I'll play it off like that's the same beer." And he would just
Ooh.
keep refilling us. So we're getting fucking lit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So games are going on. Our games are over. It's getting late, and we're getting fucked up. And then we just hear vroom, vroom, like a fucking roar of motorcycles. What the fuck? So we look
Oh, I've heard
outside.
this story. Great story.
We look outside, and there's a bunch of bikers. They come in. They were Mongols, right?
Yes.
A bunch of Mongols. And we're like, oh, fuck. And they have like a back room. It started with like 8 or 9. So we're like, whatever, you know. So we're still
Yeah,
drinking. We're having
I
fun.
remember that.
And then 20 more show up.
Oh,
Then like another
fuck.
20. There was like a good 60, 70 Mongols
Jam-packed.
packed.
All these grungy looking dudes.
Gabe's like, hey, we need to fucking leave. It's time to go, dude.
I'm always like the like before shit happens. I'm like I start seeing like sketchy people. I'm like, nah, we need to split. There's too many sketchy people at once. Bro.
And I'm like,
bro.
when I'm drunk, you know, I get that liquid courage. I think, nah, we're fine, dude. Like it's
Right.
we're fucking good. Don't worry
like,
about
like
it.
that meme the other day. It's like Henny got me thinking. I'll take 8 of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'll be
I was-
8 of these fools down.
And I'll drive their bike away. But so I'm like, we're good. They're not bothering us. They're not mean mugging. They're partying over there. They're regular people. You know, I'm like, we're good. And then Anthony starts getting off work and he's like, yeah, maybe we should fucking leave. And I'm like, well, I gotta piss.
Oh.
You know, and so Anthony's like, well, don't go alone. And I'm like, well, you guys can go with me. And Gabe was like, I'm gonna be right here. So I get to go piss, and Anthony follows me. And there's people are ahead of us. It's like 2 guys. One goes in to piss, and the other one stands behind at the door, and he's just like blocking it so nobody could get in.
Mm.
So I walk up, and he's like, hey, you can't go in there. I'm like, I gotta piss.
Mhm.
And then he's like, well, you can't go in there. I'm like, well, I gotta piss. You want me to piss right here?
Mhm.
So like I'm already starting to mouth off to this guy, which is probably not a good idea.
Right.
Because I'm like I always say in the podcast, I'm not the biggest fucking guy.
Right.
You know, and this guy, I'm looking at, but I'm like, hey man, why I gotta fucking piss, bro? I think I had a pocket knife too, so I thought I was Johnny Badass, you know.
Right.
And Anthony starts to get in, so he's like, oh shit, I better like defuse it. So Anthony's like, oh, I work here. And the guy looks at Anthony, and he's like, he's my brother. And I'm like, I gotta piss. Either way, I gotta go in. So the guy fucks up, and he's like, all right, well, go ahead. So I go in there by myself to piss. And the guy that's in there, I guess that guy was a prospect, and he was supposed to like protect this dude. And he looks at me like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And I go and I just start pissing, right?
Right.
And so I pee. And then when I get out, that guy's washing his hands. And then I start to wash my hands. And we kind of walk out at the same time. That fucking dude was getting an earful from that guy for letting me in to piss. So he
Damn.
probably like fucked up his being part of the gang or whatever. And then we left. And then that's where we have that video because we found we were hungry. So we went to a lunch truck, and you're ordering from the tacos, and I'm like, Anthony, I give my phone to Anthony, I'm like, record this shit, record. So I Gabe all up there ordering tacos and shit. I come behind him, and I start pumping his. I grab his waist. I'm like, he was mad. He's like, hey.
Oh, hey, what about that one time you came down and we went to Thirsty Isle, and they had the little punching bag machine?
Oh fuck, dude. Hey, that fuck, I was going round for round with that bouncer though.
No, but before the bouncer, there was a different guy. It was you and this one guy. So this fool, he beat the high score on the punching bag game.
Like at that thing when we were on
Right.
yeah.
And then some other fool comes up and he beats the score by like 1, I think, or something like really close, maybe 10 or 1 or some shit. And so this was like, oh fuck. He's like, this fool got me fucked up. Now I gotta go beat his score.
Right.
So he goes back. He doesn't beat it at first, and then he beats it the second time or whatever,
Right.
and he gets the score. And then the other guy tries, and then me, we're all fucking like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, acting all like fucking tough. Yeah.
And then the bouncer like kind of notices.
You know what fucked up? Remember, I was like, "You guys should hire me to be security up in here." I was drunk, you know. So I'm talking shit. I took my shirt off, so I just had a wife beater, a black wife beater. I'm like, "You guys should fucking hire me to be security here," you know, trying to be all cool.
And at first, the bouncer couldn't beat it. And that's when I started talking smack too. I was like, "We some top flight security, Craig. Top flight security."
That's fucking hilarious.
And then finally, the dude beats it. And then this one got mad. He had to take off his shirt, and he was just in the wife beater. He was like, so he started socking. I don't remember if you ended up.
I never beat it. I couldn't fucking beat it. And then this fool went from talking shit on my side to talking shit to me.
Taking videos.
And then he was like, "I'm gonna call you almost," because Apocalypto was like the big movie at that time. Because you almost beat it. Like I kept on getting close, but I couldn't fucking beat it. I was mad. I'm like, "Fuck, man!" I still think I have them on Snap.
I have the videos on my phone. I'm pretty sure.
I was so
funny.
fucking mad, dude.
At least on my external hard drive.
But that black dude was like fucking 6'5", a big motherfucker.
He was a big ass dude.
And at first he couldn't fucking beat my score, so I'm like, hell yeah, I'm beating. I got strong ass punching power up in this motherfucker, you know?
Right.
And then I just couldn't catch him. And then this
What
fool started.
what did he beat you by?
He got me by quite a bit, I think. That's why I got close a few times, but I couldn't.
It was like 800 something versus 900 something, probably.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was my claim to fame.
I do like Thirsty Eye though. That was with your mom and Anna and Anthony too.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
We're shooting pool.
That shit was fun. I remember that. I was glad you guys called me that night.
Yeah, we had a good time, dude. That was fucking fun as fuck.
I remember getting ready too.
What era was this?
Oh, we're older. You guys were born.
Oh, we were older.
Yeah. Adulthood. For sure being adults already.
Like mid-20s, late 20s?
No, like late 20s.
Late. Yeah.
Within the last like 5 years.
Something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
More than 5, I think. Because we've been here for 5 years in this house. Had to be more. Had to be more.
I have the timestamps on the pictures and.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. I don't want to have to dig through the whole
Hey,
archive now.
I'm telling you, this first 30 minutes of this podcast is already fucking fire.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. It's probably already like one of my favorites. Already. I fucking knew it with this fool. We've been saying this for weeks on end that this fool was going to put on one of the best episodes.
Yeah. I can't believe he brought. He said the weenie slap.
I don't give there's another topic we're going to get to. That's the name of the episode.
The weenie slap.
The weenie slap, dude.
I said the weenie clap.
Weenie slap.
Oh, I was gonna say. Speaking of weenies, let's go into the other segue.
Because it was more of a clap than a slap.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like, and you had to get that right angle, dude. You had to get the right angle to be like.
You guys are fools for that.
I fucking totally forgot about that.
It was in the kitchen at your guys' little pad. I still remember that. Exactly.
Like, I wonder if I can still do it.
That's fucking funny.
Oh,
You're gonna be
fuck.
slapping your butthole at this point.
It comes around my back.
These saggy nuts.
They're a lot louder now. Oh, shit.
That's fucking funny. So before there's like dead air. So as we were recording this, it's Saturday, and the Dodgers were playing the Giants, and this fool started getting into a story, and we were like, we gotta fucking save this for the podcast.
Yeah, we gotta shut him down.
To save this.
So, is this the person that everybody hates?
Right.
We all kind of fucking hate him.
I mean,
Any giant is
Yeah.
hated.
yeah. Fuck the Giants? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I fucking hate them.
I fucking hate the Giants too. So
If you're a Giant fan, keep listening, but still fuck your team. Anyway.
So I went to St. John Bosco High School for 3 years in high school. I played baseball, and Evan Longoria he was a junior when I was a freshman. So like his senior year, I was a sophomore. And in summer ball one time, I was catching and he was pitching, and he kept throwing. I wasn't that good at blocking pitches yet, so like he was throwing a lot of balls in the dirt and wild pitches, and the other team was just batting around. and like it's summer, like it was hot, and we're getting pissed off. We're like, fuck, man, like we can't get 3 outs, and he's pitching, and I'm catching, and like everything's going by, and they're scoring, and whatever. So we finally, after all this nonsense, we finally get 3 outs. So there's in the dugouts over there at Bosco, it's like two long benches, with like a slight separation in the middle. He sits at the separation in the middle, and I sit at the very front where like all the bats and helmets go. And I'm pissed off, and I'm just like, fuck. I'm like sitting right there. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see that fool jump up and like kind of like look up and look my way. He's like, Gabe, you're fucking rugged. I get up and I'm like, if you're so fucking good, why ain't you in the major leagues? 5 years later, that fool's drafted number 3 overall.
The biggest instant comment that would only happen to a basketball dude.
And like we had to get separated, and the coach pulled me aside and basically put me in my place, like taking that fool's back. He's like, we want him to throw in the dirt like that. Like he's like, we don't want him. I was like, we didn't get any outs with those throws in the dirt. But you're taking his side. All right, I know where I stand. That fool was always like 6'2", 6'3". So like that fool probably would sock me on the top of the head like. I was like, oh, my neck, fuck.
And I have to say, like, he called you what, rugged?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad, like, yeah, fucking rugged motherfucker. Like,
right.
But the tone of voice said it up.
It's about the principality.
Yeah, I'm fucking rugged.
It was disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't see you in the major league.
I said, you're so fucking good. Why ain't you in the major league?
Instant fucking car.
I
didn't know that's how the story went, but
one of the biggest fucking names in baseball.
I still remember that because I mean that dude was big, dude. You know, I mean he was kind of scrawny and lanky, but he could have socked me on the top of the head, kicked me with the spikes or something with his long ass legs.
Oh,
It's a
fuck.
fucking good one. In major leagues.
He was fucking one of the biggest names.
He's one of the biggest names in fucking MLB.
AL Rookie of the Year, went to the World Series.
Hey, but what if that fight gave him to drive to be better?
I hope he remembers me till this day. I made you who you are, fool.
I almost whipped your ass.
I would have took your legs out, homie.
Blew your ACL, son of a bitch.
That story seems so fucking like fake because it's just like why aren't you in the major league? Fucking
That was what I said. I was just like,
you're just like, fuck, dude. That's hilarious.
Because on our team, it was like a known thing to say, like, rugged. Oh, that's rugged, bro. Like, fucking, you're
It was
rugged.
like slang. That's fucked up.
Oh,
That's
so,
fucking funny, man.
More of the story. Fuck Evan Longoria.
It was like it was the same fucking sentiment before.
Yeah, still fuck you, bro. If you're watching or any of your family members, fuck you.
Fuck you, Evan
He was
Longoria.
just a douchebag.
Hey, if you want to run
Still
that
is.
shit back, I'm gonna say it right now. If you want to run that shit back, Gabe will go 1-on-1 with you.
I'll take the hit and sue. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just gonna fuck him up.
That's awesome,
Oh
dude.
fuck, that's too funny. That was perfect for the
hilarious.
podcast.
Yeah, and then this fool's fucking name dropping, like, you know, like no biggie, fucking saying he went to school with fucking James Harden and shit.
My senior year, I transferred to Artesia High, and James Harden was a freshman on a basketball team when I was there at Artesia High.
Did you get to see him play at all?
I never went to the basketball games.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
cause like I played football, and then after football it was like straight to baseball practices. and
Gotcha.
I didn't have time to be going to the basketball games and shit while I was practicing and
Right.
doing schoolwork and shit.
Is it true he's ugly as fuck without a beard?
He
Well,
looked-
he's not good looking with the beard. I'm not. Don't fucking. Hey, don't quote me on that shit. Hey, that's not what I'm saying.
Hey.
he looks very young. He looks much younger. and but dude always walked around with the basketball. He
That's
was
fucking
kind of
cool.
a loner, but just always walking around with the basketball,
Trying to
minding his
protect
own
his
business.
craft.
I guess maybe he was just in the zone, and that's what made
Yeah.
him the champ he is now, man.
Yeah.
Fucking James Harden's one of the
He's a
all-time
legend,
greats,
bro.
man.
He's
Yeah.
a legend.
That's fucking cool, man. Seeing him with the basketball, like, yeah, he kind of seems like a shy guy in general.
Yeah,
Like in interviews and shit.
he always had the sweatsuit, like the pants that you could just like pull off with the buttons on the side and.
Oh, the easy access pants, huh?
That's
For a
awesome.
predator like yourself. Yeah.
Better than being the prey.
There's sheep and there's wolves.
Yeah, I'd rather be a wolf.
You guys are
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
weird. That's funny. That's hilarious.
My fucking head hurts already from laughing so much.
That's fucking
The
funny.
muscles in my head.
It's only been 35 fucking minutes. Holy shit.
Of laughing.
Holy shit. This is like gotta be one of the top.
Oh yeah.
Just the first. This gotta
I
be the
haven't
greatest.
laughed this much on this podcast. We've had some funny fucking moments, but this is the fucking top.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
fucking. I love these like the guests when it's just one. It's
Yeah.
less chaotic.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. Like the other one was funny too, but this one's fucking great too.
Yeah.
We've
When
got
there's
some
too
good
many, we
episodes.
talk over each other.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to get your lines in here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't speak a single word that entire fucking episode. Not a single fucking word. Probably once or twice throughout the entire episode. I was in there to laugh. I was like a little fucking. What do you call them? Like the fucking sitcoms. They got the laughing crew. in
The
the
laugh
back?
track.
I'm the fucking laugh track the entire episode. So, just to kind of redirect. So tomorrow on Sunday we got the NFL draft,
Fantasy football draft.
fantasy football draft. What do you guys? How do you guys
For
think
our
that's?
league.
Huh?
For our league.
For our league, which we have talked, me and him have talked for this channel, like doing like a little mini series for the season, like just updates on like just once a week, just updates on the league. We might follow through on that. So if you guys see the a video of the draft, because I might record it and like the Zoom call and everything. So if you guys see that soon, expect once a week we'll pick a day, like just updates on the league and what's going on.
And
We'll
how the BB guns are succeeding and getting first place.
This
What
guy's
do you
fucking-
guys want to find out why the team's called the BB Guns? Hey, don't get me started. He's also, anyways. Next segue.
Hey, I say it all the time, man.
So what happened was this is a younger story, and when we were younger, we were talking about something, and you know, when you're a young kid and your testosterone's way higher when you're younger,
Right.
and we were just talking shit, and we started talking about pretty much dick size, and of course I'm gonna sit there and exaggerate mine, so I'm like, hey, I got a fucking bazooka,
Yeah, but
and then he tried to say something, and I was like, nah, yours is more like a BB gun. And it just fucking stuck, and he's been BB gun ever since, dude.
your grandpa, his dad, fucking called me BB gun.
Ever since it was fucking BB gun.
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
So that's why his team name on the fantasy team is BB gun.
That's fucking
BB
funny.
guns are reliable.
They sting. It won't kill you, but it'll hurt.
He'll do his fucking duty. So yeah, expect once a week, just update videos. I was telling this fool would be a good idea is interviewing somebody once a week. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like, what do you like? What's the plan going to this week? You know,
Fantasy.
this person got hurt. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? You know, maybe do some shit like that. That would be fucking.
So let me ask you this, Gabe, based on fantasy. So, I'm the one that got you in fantasy football. You weren't really into fantasy football,
I never played before, and then you wrote me in and you hooked me, bro.
and
I
been
love it.
fucking history ever since.
Wasn't
So-
very quick? Wasn't the last season? Last season was your first?
No, it was
The one
is my
before,
third.
yeah, this is your third. So the one before
No,
was the
this is
first.
my fourth.
Is it?
This is my fourth, actually.
But you're second in this new league that we have.
Got you.
No,
Because last year was our first time in this actual league.
the dynasty, like, or what is it called? Like where you where you roll over from last year?
Yeah, this is barely our second year in that one.
Gotcha.
Where we actually did it for like
but
a
we
prize.
played in ESPN my first year.
Yeah, so the first 2 years we just did random leagues, and it wasn't a rollover. It was just we always played together.
Right.
This one's actually the first two were free leagues, and this is the first two where we pay money and we get championship rings, we get a belt and all that stuff.
Yeah. So continue what we were going to say.
By the way, Winky, we're still waiting for the response on my picture.
Tinky Winky.
That's fucking.
What's
funny.
the purse about? No, just kidding. So now that you're kind of a 4-year vet of fantasy football, what do you feel about how so many people put first and second round? They put so much emphasis on running backs. Do you think that still needs to be, or do you think now the way the league is with running quarterbacks, you have wide receivers that do a lot of slants and they could run and what do you call them, the reverses? Like the league's evolved so much. Do you think there's still a lot of weight in running backs going first 2 rounds?
As far as running backs, I feel like there's a lot more wide receivers and like even tight ends or quarterbacks that can rack up points. But as far as running backs, I feel like it's like a cliff with the running backs. Once you pass those elite talents,
Right.
it's just like you just
A fucking hard dip.
It's 50-50, yeah.
big time.
For sure.
After that, it's like
Yeah, that's a
done.
great point.
You know what I think it is too is the league has gotten so soft on the calls because they don't want people to get hurt. So like the
pass
corners,
heavy.
it's super pass heavy because the corners, if you barely touch the wide receiver, it's a fucking PI.
Tom
So
Brady
it's
said it
super
this week,
pass
man.
heavy, dude. So the wide receivers are bigger, the quarterbacks are bigger, the tight ends because they get more points now.
Yeah, and there's like only 4 good guaranteed running backs, like Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
CMC when he's healthy,
Dalvin Cook tore it up.
Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook
Cook for sure.
Derrick Henry's a
and Derrick Henry.
monster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like out of those 4, like the rest are,
Saquon's overrated.
super overrated. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that fucker is overrated as shit.
And
Dude,
watch
I
that motherfucker be the leading rusher this year.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you know what? I hope he is.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't wish that guy poorly, but I mean, he did screw me when I drafted him number 1 overall
Right.
over CMC.
Yeah,
Mhm.
fucking
Christian
guy.
McCaffrey, in case you don't know.
Right.
But
Yeah, also fuck Zeke Elliott because I traded away our 3rd round draft pick to fucking Geyer for him, and then he didn't do shit when Dak
Yeah.
went down. So now this year's draft's gonna be even tougher for me because I don't have a 3rd rounder.
Right, so I have the 3rd pick, and since neither of you are in the 3rd pick, I might give you a little fucking teaser. This will be coming out on Monday, so the draft would have
You
been
don't have a
finished
3rd?
already.
I do.
No,
Oh.
I mean, I got the 3rd overall.
Oh,
So
okay.
he picks before us.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so there's I would say there's 3 options. I'm either going Stephon Diggs number 3, Justin Jefferson number 3, or Alvin Kamara number 3. One of those. Because he made a good point. Like, it is 50-50 with Alvin Kamara because there's a 50-50 with Jameis Winston. I think that was a great point that I didn't really take into account. But, like, also, like, Alvin Kamara by himself, standalone, is one of the most lethal fucking running backs in the league. And on top of that, he has that dual threat receiving back
Yeah.
capabilities too.
Mhm.
But he's put up such elite numbers for so many years in a row. Is this the year that it's his?
Knowing my
dips?
luck, if I picked him at number 3, he would.
Is this the year where he dips? He doesn't have Drew Brees. He has. Well, this is just what you just said about Jameis Winston 50-50. He doesn't have Drew Brees.
Right, because
You
if
don't know.
if Jameis doesn't deliver, then every defense is going to prepare for Alvin Kamara.
Exactly.
This has nothing to do with anything, but Jameis Winston's gonna have a great year.
I think so too. His fucking
think-
preseason throws were fucking.
And I think
flawless.
people doubted that kid so much. And yes, he's weird, fucking sucking on his fingers in the shape of a W. Like he's not the smartest fucking person, but he could ball.
Stealing
He's got
crab legs.
he's got a competitive edge. Yeah, stealing crab legs. He's not afraid to fucking chuck it. I think he makes his comeback year. I think Teddy Bridgewater fucking kabloops, and I think fucking Jameis Winston fucking has a breakout
As a
year.
Buccaneers fan and him being my ex-quarterback, I don't wish anything bad on him. I hope he has a good year because it'll be better to have a good Bucks Saints game because they play each other twice. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll be and with the fact that it's his former team, it'll make for better storylines and better games.
Hell yeah,
And
man.
it'll make
Fun.
the Bucks victories in both games that much better.
Already predicting the W, huh?
TB12, my boy.
Right. I just want to throw this out there. Like a lot of people like nowadays try to encourage like more respectful, or like they do like sportsmanship and shit. But I would argue that drama and like controversy makes football 10 times funner to watch.
100%.
When we watch the Raiders play the Rams at all, anytime like in the future, like we're gonna be like, I want to see fucking Jalen Ramsey get cooked by Hunter Renfrow again. Like that's what we're gonna be talking about. Or like with the fucking Patriots and the Bucks, like everybody knows in the back of Brady's mind, he's like, I want to fuck them up so bad.
Because they gave up on me.
They gave up. Like I want to fuck them up so bad at like 57 or 47 years old. I want to fucking destroy them.
It's almost like Drew Brees with the Chargers. Like the Chargers cut him because when he had that shoulder injury, and they were like, he can't do it no more. Right. Like he's done. He's not worth shit. Went to the Saints and brought that city back. Not only that team, that fucking city.
They won a Super Bowl.
Yep. And you had Hurricane Katrina, all that shit.
It's just there's just something different about watching a game when there's so much tension on the field.
I just love football. Period.
I do too.
We don't have a weekend without football until the second weekend of February.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's back.
It's back. I love it.
I'm fucking so excited, man.
And then fantasy football, it makes it that much better.
Makes you watch all other games.
Right. Fantasy football, I would argue, made me enjoy football as a sport.
100%.
Because
and that's how I sold you on it.
Yeah, at the beginning, like you only watch your favorite team and you only watch.
That's all you care about.
Fantasy, it's like, oh, I gotta watch all my players.
Yeah.
I gotta watch this game, or I gotta watch highlights from that game.
It's like fuck the Cowboys, but I got Zeke on my team.
Yeah,
I need to watch. I need to make sure
I
he
had
fucking
Prescott
eats.
last year for the. Oh man, he was
Prescott and Barkley.
Dude,
I didn't have Barkley last year, but.
And it makes you cheer for other teams too. Like I was always kind of like raised on like you only cheer your team on, but when it came to fantasy, you're like fucking Justin Jackson 80-yard bomb, let's fucking go. You know, you're fucking hyped.
What'd you think of that beer, by the way?
Oh, it's good.
I brought him some beer from Tucson.
Little craft beers.
Yeah, they're doing like the fucking hot ones of beers over there. It's got different fucking types of beers.
We got about 12 different craft beers.
We bought 4 different 4-packs, so that's 4, and then there were 4 in the packs that I brought, so that's 8 different brews.
Yeah, of IPAs and stuff.
The 2 that you had.
Yeah.
So that's like 10 different brews, actually.
Yeah.
I got a question for him. Be honest, right? Did you feel a little envious of Lizzie when she shoved that dandelion down your throat? A little bit.
Envy is not the word. Betrayed.
Because you were so into like, oh, okay.
I was like, I like good luck, you know?
So how did the story go from your perspective?
She came up and she was like, oh, look, you blow this out for good luck or whatever.
You said, hey, Uncle Gabe, for good luck, we were playing disc golf.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's nice of her. Like, give me good luck. I was like, all right, I could use good luck.
Right.
Yeah. And I go to blow it out, and then and then just gets shoved down my throat.
He spit them all out. And I vaguely remember him saying, your kids are jerks just like you. To me, like it was my fault.
That's fucking funny, man.
Yeah,
Her hearing that story and being like, fuck, man, the time I fucking slept in. Didn't I sleep in that day?
You want to get up?
Yeah.
That was the same day we were playing disc golf, and you have all these different types of disc, and there was water, and he was like, yeah, you're not throwing this one. I'm like, why? Because I suck. And he's like, no, you're not throwing one of my good discs in the water. And I was like, oh, fuck, I guess I got to skip this one.
That's funny.
It's not bad, little bad course right there.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many courses there are around everywhere. You could find one almost anywhere you go.
Dude, and even in like Norway or Finland or whatever, there's like hundreds and hundreds of
No
courses.
shit.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Kansas, like even in Tucson I have some courses.
I always,
Not as many
whenever
as
I see like on like ESPN or something like these crazy trick shots, I always think of you and I have to send it to you on IG.
Yeah, dude.
Like just because they're fucking nuts.
It's the fastest growing sport in the world.
That's nuts.
I love it. I played this morning. I lost, but still didn't do too bad. Had some good parts.
Playing disc golf?
Yeah.
Dude.
Hit a couple trees that ruined my day, but
Do you have any like superstitions with that?
no.
Like you gotta dust it off first or
Nah.
tap it twice or
I'm
something?
not a superstitious guy at all.
Really? You play baseball?
I did.
Baseball players are like notoriously super sick.
Just so you guys know, too, he's a Little League World Series champion in baseball. Pony League. World Series. I watched this guy on TV.
No.
He was on newspapers and everything. Him and my grandpa.
That's fucking
badass. Got a big ass World Series
Fernando
champion.
Valenzuela presented us with our rings, and Danny Trejo was there for the ring ceremony as well.
No, that's
Picture with
fucking
that
Badass,
dope.
dude. I remember
With
that.
machete.
I remember
That's
trying to watch
fucking
him when you guys
dope.
were out of state playing, like trying to watch him and listen to him on the radio. So fucking cool, dude.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
So fucking
badass. I
cool.
never knew that.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
You should be in MLB, not fucking Evan Longoria.
Yeah,
Fuck
that guy.
him, dude.
Why are you in the major league?
Do you have one of these to pull out your ring?
Pussy.
It's probably fake gold, but still looks cool.
You still got it?
Yeah, I actually have
Yeah.
my dad's ring too now.
That's fucking dope.
Uh,
That's badass. What number did you wear?
number 7 in the All Stars,
Dude.
but I was always number 44. The 44
I like
caliber
44.
killer.
44 caliber killer. I like that.
That's dope.
33, 44. Wow.
I'm a 33 guy.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Those good memories.
Good memories.
Maybe not anything like necessarily like funny, but like, do you guys have any just good memories that are like you just think back on and reminisce on like in a positive manner? It doesn't even have to be funny.
For me, him being the best man for my wedding, like we literally grew up together and best friends.
He used to live next door, literally next door.
More like brothers and cousins, and always there. And then when I got married, the first person I thought would be my best man was him.
Is there a crazy story with him asking you?
I don't remember how that went.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just
You ain't fucking like, listen, I want you to be my best friend.
It's not like how it is nowadays where people blow stuff up just for the gram, you know what I mean? They
Right.
put on a whole dog and pony show just to fucking
yeah.
Right.
we come from the era
Pop the
where you
balloon,
just-
yes or no?
yeah, we came from the era where it's like something between people, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
between me and you, and
So probably because you guys didn't remember, it's probably like, hey, you want to be my best man? Yeah. Probably something
Yeah.
on those lines.
no,
I'm down.
it was probably a little more serious than that.
Well, to be funny, if you look at me and Mom's marriage license right now, because we got married so young and Gabe's younger than me, he signed it like a fucking third grader. Like it's just like old school, like if he was just learning cursive writing.
I still don't know how to do cursive, so.
Yeah, if you look at my social security card, my signature, it looks like that. But nowadays, my signature is just like, I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like, it kind of looks like I signed Gabriel instead of Gabriel Schwartz.
Gabe.
Yeah,
Are aliens real?
maybe not necessarily in the big round head with the big black eyes, but I do believe in life.
Are you being racist? Are you talking about illegal aliens to Mexico or?
But I think there's life on other planets somewhere else. I mean, just think about it. The universe is unlimited, bro.
So, this is a perfect segue to the question I told you Lizzie had.
Oh, okay.
That Lizzie brought up. All right, so she said she read it for somewhere, and then when we were driving out to Long Beach the other day, and it just really got my mind thinking, and I was like, wow, that's a good fucking thing for the podcast. She said that I don't know if she read it or she was thinking it, but she was saying, what if humans are immortal? We don't die. But oxygen is a slow-acting poison. So the moment we're born and we start ingesting oxygen, we slowly start to die. And they actually say from the moment you're born, you start to die. And I was like, man, that's fucking nuts.
That's nuts.
I seen that on Instagram.
And if you think about it, when you're in the womb of your mother, you're not breathing oxygen. You're breathing fluid, a
Right.
liquid. And the moment we get out, they suck that out, and you start ingesting this poison, and you slowly start to die. You grow, yeah, but you slowly start to die. So what if a baby's born, and if you keep them with that fluid, if you were to try to create that fluid again from the woman's womb, and you let them grow in that fluid, would they be immortal and never die?
That's crazy.
And then when you look at the universe, we're the only planet with oxygen.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Like, how could they ever get cancer if they ain't inhaling like carcinogens or touching
or bacteria or anything like that. We are immortal, but the moment we introduce
kinda deep.
oxygen to
That
ourselves,
is deep.
we're fucked.
I'm taking shorter breaths now.
I'm fat, so I take short breaths anyway.
But like if you're say you're swimming, and like oxygen becomes almost like a drug that slowly starts killing you. When you run out of breath, what's the first thing you do? You start to panic. You want, your body wants it. Your body wants that drug, and it's slowly killing you.
Kind of like fucking Wolverine's claws. Helps him out, but it's slowly fucking killing his ass.
Yeah, isn't it crazy to think about?
Yeah.
Some
That's a
crazy
great
shit.
perspective.
And then I was showing him a gift today, and it says, "Do you think we're living in a simulation?" And then it says, "If you don't, when was the last time you seen one of your neighbors bring the groceries in?"
Hold on, this could keep going.
So it's like I've never.
I've seen that too. I've never seen my neighbor bringing groceries either.
Like,
yeah, that's some crazy shit. And I was telling him, like, it could just be this weird fucking coincidence that we're never paying attention. Like, if we did pay attention, maybe we'd see it. But
when we bring the groceries in, it's a fucking mission because it's all of
Right.
us. I have 4 kids. It's all 4 of my kids. Me and my wife going trip to the fucking car. So we
got all
spent
the
fucking
Costco
$500-600 bucks
Right.
as groceries.
Costco size stuff.
It's a mission. How do I not ever see anybody else bring their groceries into
how
their
have I
house?
not glanced at somebody?
Like, oh, they got groceries.
Like, not even just like, and just like register in that millisecond in your head, like, oh, there's...
Maybe it's just that the bar is set so high that they could get all the bags in one trip.
We are
But
fucking tiny.
there's multiple houses, dude. Like, you see people in the market every fucking day. The markets are always packed.
I was just getting at the fact that don't we all just try to grab as many bags as
Oh,
possible
yeah.
at once?
Your fucking fingers come in, they're all fucking white 'cause the blood circulation's cut off, you know?
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I've gotten lazier and cared less about how fucking cool I look. So I'm taking like maybe 1-2 bags at a time.
The toilet paper bag. And
Shit, I ain't trying to look cool. I just don't want to keep going back and forth.
Right.
I'm just want to get it over with.
Well, I also know I have like 3 other fucking siblings, so I'm just like, the slower I walk this into the house,
The more they'll bring.
right?
Well, fuck, now I know your tricks, fucker.
Play
Get
some,
3.
bruh.
Like, that's just fucking nuts to think about. Like, is oxygen poison to us?
right.
And we don't know it. And it's slow acting.
It is weird.
They literally say that the moment you're born, you start to die. That's when your timer starts.
The only thing guaranteed is death, bro.
Yep.
But what if we're immortal and we didn't even know?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm starting to fucking remember what it was that sparked my. This is what we were talking about, because me and him were like, dude, there was this fucking thing I wanted to talk about, and like we just fucking forgot, and then I was like, save it for the podcast. I think this was it.
Okay.
I think this was one. So I became a big fan in this last year and a half of watching this psychiatrist, and his name is Dr. K, and his whole shtick is he goes on Twitch, which is like this live streaming platform, and he interviews famous like content creators, streamers, gamers, and he runs this thing called Healthy Gamers, and he interviews them and gives them pretty much not a therapy session because that's not his job, but he pretty much just like helps them. Like by the end of it, like they'll start out with like, hey, what was your family life like? And then he'll like pick apart like an anxiety of theirs that they may have, or like something like some PTSD, something fucked up about them, and then like he'll unravel it at the end. It's fucking crazy to watch. But this one guy had come in and he had been like jokingly, because he was like a content creator, he's like, he's funny, he had said like, oh, you know, you seem like the type of person that would tell me what happens after you die. And then instead of laughing, he's like, okay, I could tell you about death. And then I was like, what the fuck? And so through his research, he had made this comparison. You guys would know more, obviously, because I've never had anything to drink alcohol-wise or like weed-wise, but he had talked about how when you get drunk or when you get high, your body and everything about like slows down or like it becomes scattered, but there's a part of your brain that still runs the same than when you're sober. Is that fair to say? Like your consciousness stays the same? Like maybe your thoughts or everything comes a little bit slower, comes a little bit unraveled, but there is that part
I
of
guess
your
it depends how fucked up I
And on what?
am. Yeah.
But yeah, so there is a part of your brain that like it still runs the same as when you're.
So
It's like
I guess
that
like
part of your brain that part of your brain where you're like, I'm fucking drunk right now. That part of your brain that recognizes
Okay.
the fact that you're drunk right now
So
stays the same when you're
I would
sober.
probably say that more with weed because there's been times where I was like so fucking high that I was thinking in my head like, okay, I don't want this no more. But I'm like, fuck, wait,
Yeah.
what was I talking about? Oh my god, I can't remember.
Right.
Fuck, I'm too fucked up. But I'm talking to myself in my head and I kind of know, but then I'm losing it. So a certain part of my brain is losing what I'm thinking about.
Alcohol is different in that like you hit a certain point and you're just on autopilot, so you don't remember anything, or
Right.
so you don't know what part of your brain.
Right.
Like, yes, there is up to a certain point where you're like, oh, I'm buzzed. Like when you go into the party and you take a leak and you're washing your hands and you're in the mirror just like,
Oh my god. Dude, I thought I was the only person that does that. You're in the bathroom by yourself, you wash your hands, you're like, fuck. And you look at yourself in the face.
look at you,
Oh
like,
my
it's
god, that is
bastard.
fucking mind blowing. I didn't know anybody else does that.
Right. So
And then also on mushrooms, you're just
Oh, I don't know about this.
you're just completely out of your mind. Like on shrooms, I've been a Chipotle burrito wrapped up. I've been walking on water. I've seen paintings just start moving.
damn.
I'm still stuck in the Chipotle burrito. I'm a Chipotle burrito. What the fuck? I'm delicious.
Right, it's because I took some shrooms and I was home alone, and I, just like you guys, I like to crank the AC. It was cold, and I was laying on the couch in my blanket, and and that's when the trips hit me, dude. I was like a Chipotle burrito, and I started thinking, I was like, you're like a Chipotle burrito wrapped in aluminum foil right now. And I was just like on the couch, just like laughing. I was like, and then my landlord knocks on the door, dude, and I was like, this foil's wrapped too tight. I was like, I can't get up to open the door. Like, and then he knocks again, and I'm just like still right there. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, who is that? Like, you start getting the paranoia. And I'm like, is that the cops? I'm like, they know I'm on shrooms. And then the dude takes his master key or whatever and opens the door. And then all of a sudden I just snapped out of it, and I just jumped up.
Making noises.
He's like, oh, it's me, Abe. And I was like, like, I don't know what I
Like
was
the
saying.
fucking
I was
dude from
just
Men
like
in Black.
He's
So-
like, here, I have this paper, and I was like, just let me get back to my burrito.
Are you here to eat me?
That's fucking funny. So I would argue that the shrooms just contort your like sense of reality rather than getting rid of your consciousness.
Yes.
So it just changes your sense of reality, but your consciousness stays the same. And like with the drunk thing, like when you get blackout drunk and you forget shit, like that's like I would argue that's like when you fucking die and your brain starts you just like like and then you just get conscious. Like I'm sure there's like something weird with that, but like typically when you're high or whatever, like that consciousness stays the same. And he had said that through his studies from like different like people like in history that they had said that he had like asked this dude, he was like, so like let me ask you like this, so Gabe, what do you do as your profession now?
I'm an aircraft mechanic.
What were you before that?
I managed a paint store.
What were you before that? You were always you, no matter what. Through everything, you were always just you, right? Your soul and everything, your consciousness has always been the same. And even before you were born, even before you were given a name, you were always that. You were always the same, right? So like he had argued that like when you die, your body and everything is dead, right? But your consciousness still lives on because it still lives on because it by you being high and still being able to think like, holy fuck, I'm high right now.
That's kind of terrifying to think about.
He had said like the fact that you were able to identify like I'm high right now when the rest of your body cannot function proves that your brain, your consciousness is not connected to your brain.
In that sense, what you're saying, the way it sounds to me, is like you're in the sunken place on what's that,
Yep.
that movie?
Get Out.
Get Out. You're just like in consciousness, you can't move,
right?
like, but you realize what's going on around you. It's like,
right. So when you get in the
that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
right. So you know how when you like, I don't know if this is just me with the way my brain works, because I would still want to figure out if I want to try to see if I am diagnosed with like ADHD or ADD or whatever, something, one of those mental things. But like I get in bad trains of thoughts where I my body goes on autopilot and I'm in my head, and I kind of don't pay attention to what's around me. So like like he had compared like your consciousness to like somebody in a movie theater watching a movie unfold. And so like he is saying like the fact that you're able to think like I'm high as fuck right now when the rest of your body is like fucked up proves that your subconscious is not connected to the rest of your body. So when you die, that consciousness has to go somewhere. It's just a matter of where.
That makes me not want to die even
More, yeah.
That's my number one fear as it is. I don't ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I was immortal.
It's a fucking terrifying thing to think about. But what brings me peace hearing that is like my biggest fear is that when I die, everything will end up in nothingness and it'll just be black for eternity.
Or like that one episode of fucking Twilight Zone. You see that one where they die and their conscience stays alive, but their body's dead, so they're like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, why are you putting me in this box? And they literally go into the coffin in the ground,
right.
and they're awake in the dark. And they're like, oh my god, I'm still here. And you're just like,
but what happens when you get cremated?
That's a good point too.
And you're fucked. That's when you go to hell. I don't know.
Consciousness. I don't know.
Your
man.
consciousness, yeah, it brought me peace because it's like at least I'm not in an eternity of fucking like dark. That I will end up somewhere.
Oh, I don't know.
So
That's
yeah,
scary.
to your point, that makes me want to get cremated. I don't want to end up in a box. I'd rather you guys sprinkle me somewhere and then have my consciousness just end up with one of those specks in like the fucking
like
something
Two
beautiful.
Chainz said, when I die, bury me inside the booty club.
Hey!
These robot bitches are different.
Oh fuck,
This
that's
is
too
what
funny.
2080 strip clubs look like.
Just a robot going.
That's
too fucking funny.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. Like it like watching, like I've watched different interviews of like some of my favorite like entertainers and whatnot, like getting interviewed by him.
Is it a podcast or?
It's kind of like in a podcast format. You know, it's like an hour and a half long.
Kind of piqued my interest. I want to see this guy, Dr. K.
Right, look up Dr. K. The one where he talks about death is the episode with Ludwig. So
Is it on YouTube?
it's on YouTube. Yeah, I started getting into it, and it like he covers a range of subjects. So at the beginning of every episode, like at the beginning of every like session, he'll like ask him, "Is there anything in particular you want to talk about?" So like there was this one guy, one of my favorite content creators when I was a kid, Jacksepticeye. He had like lost his dad, and so they went down that path of grief, and by the end of it, he was like, "Fuck!" Like he felt good, like because this dude's like a professional. He like has trained his entire life on the human brain. So like he gives you different perspectives on things and like ways of thinking, and like I would argue that a lot of my thought processes now are due to watching like his sessions and shit. Like
Hey,
he
dude,
teaches you a
imagine.
lot.
Okay, so we're talking about that. Like, imagine the brains that have CTE.
What is CTE?
It's like
He's like, I don't know. It's a fucking term.
I don't know the exact. It's like DNA. I don't remember what the DNA stands for.
It's from like blunt trauma to the brain, right? And
yeah,
then,
the CTE is like the football players, the wrestlers, like
and then they flip out and do crazy shit like Chris Benoit and
Junior Seau.
They just something snaps in their brain.
yeah.
Got you.
It's
Okay.
because from all the like blows to the head or
Right.
just damn.
Yeah.
Imagine
something like
being
that.
Stuck with that consciousness.
Right.
Oh
And
yeah.
are you conscious of the fact that you're going nuts?
That'd be horrible, dude.
That's crazy.
But then you go into that thing where you go down that rabbit hole where you're like, okay, that's a crazy theory, but like, what happens with dementia? What happens to your consciousness then? But your consciousness stays the same, obviously.
But you don't know who
But
you
you're
are.
You're not conscious of the fact that you're losing memory. Your consciousness is still there, but you're not conscious of the fact that you're losing memory. So like it goes through that whole thing too, where you're just like, fuck, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
And like this Dr. K dude, like he's been training all his life to become a monk. So like by the end of his career, he'll leave his life to go become a monk. And so it's like, oh, what the like he's got like crazy knowledge. Like he dropped some shit where it was like, damn, I didn't even think about a situation like that like he'll interview somebody and they'll say something that I'm like, damn, like I kind of relate to that, and he'll like say something, you're like, damn, that's kind of fucking crazy. And like when he talked about the death thing, I thought that was fucking interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my number one fear, dude. Death.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
100%.
Sometimes I get sad, like thinking about I gotta die one day. Like
Yeah, so do I. Like,
Like,
I don't want
damn,
that shit.
Right.
I think that's why every year when I have a birthday, like birthdays are just less and less exciting for me. Like
Right.
I don't want to celebrate them.
Like no matter how down I get or whatever, it's anything in life. Like the last thing I ever want to do is die. Like
Yeah.
Right.
it's fucking. That's scary, dude.
Yeah,
I
100%.
will say, my sleeping medications fuck me up. So I've had that moment where I'm like, dude, I've been staring at a wall for 15 minutes. Like my subconscious been like, dude, I can't fucking operate right now. I need to go to sleep. Like I get fucked up on my medications, where I just can't fucking operate. I don't know where that comparison is with the fucking getting high and shit. But like I've like taken my medications and I've stared at a fucking door.
Well, I've been like so
For an
fucking
hour.
high off of weed that I'm like stuck on stupid. That's what I call it, stuck on stupid. You're just like,
Right.
and,
Well, when I was on that same exact trip with the Chipotle burrito, I was tripping off the texture on the wall. It was like moving. It was like, I don't know, dude. I was just like staring at the texture.
Oh, so thanks for bringing that back up.
It's so textured. You're very textured.
you start talking to it.
Very texture. Beautiful. But thanks for bringing that up, because there's another point that he had made that like because he had asked like, so is there like a god, right? Because they were like, but he was like, we don't know, but people who had like, there's people who theorize that when you go on shrooms, that like it doesn't fuck your brain up, but it broadens you to more shit that's real. That your eyes like contain a bunch of shit, but when you get on shrooms and like shit like that, like psychedelics, I think they call it, whatever the fuck, that it like broadens your view of like other shit.
I always say that when I do shrooms, I get like an epiphany.
Elaborate.
Like, say I'm stressing out about something or in life or
Epiphany's like oh yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like a
yeah,
it just pops in your head the answer almost.
like after you come down from shrooms, everything just makes sense.
Got you.
Everything that it's like your brain is a tangled ball of yarn, and after you come down from shrooms, all the knots, all the tangles are out. Everything's straight. Everything just makes sense. Like it's like I'm not stressed out. I just feel at peace.
Right.
But I've also heard though that if you're not in the right mindset to take something like that, you could have a really bad trip.
Yeah,
That's true.
And you'll end up fucked up afterwards. I've heard that too. And by the way, maybe make this very clear. We're not encouraging any kids to do fucking.
Yeah, we're not
psychedelics.
condoning any of it. We're
Obviously,
not saying,
if you're gonna do it, make sure you're in a fucking adult. You have someone to look after you. Make sure you're good.
100%.
So I just want to make that clear. But the point I was gonna make was, they had also said that it brought into views to things. But like, I think he had said a statistic. I could be completely off, but from my memory, it was like 80% of people who have done shrooms have had a moment where they had seen something that they thought to be God, where somebody had seen a figure where they're like, that's God.
I'm in the 20%.
Yeah, people have like
Never did.
like I've had a friend who was like, I was on shrooms and I fucking like saw this like majestic goat man, and my brain was like, that's God, and it was like just shiny.
Maybe
bright,
it shows you what you think in your head you want to see in that moment of what you're looking for, and that's why it pops up.
Right, but that idea that it broadens your view to like other things that are real that your eyes and your brain just can't, see is also an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah,
like could there be a drug that could like, make us, I don't know, like could make us see ghosts or spirits or something?
I was just having this conversation the other day about shrooms, about like I said, I feel like you have an epiphany. So in that sense, I'm a believer in microdosing. I don't microdose myself personally, but
what does that mean?
It's like where you take small doses of shrooms, and
you don't take the full amount, so you just kind of like manage it.
You don't like really like have a trip, but it's like a small amount. So I don't know how to explain. You gotta Google it, but but it's medicinal. It's like as a
Just
medicinal-
enough.
Yeah.
Just enough, and that you don't
Yeah.
see some fucking crazy shit in the end. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to. Can you OD on shrooms?
No. I don't
It's
think
like
so.
weed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You can't OD on weed.
There's somebody who's OD'd on weed, but it's like in a fucking absurd amount you'd have to smoke to like OD on it. Like a fucking, probably like, I don't fucking know. But like there has been like one person ever that's ever OD'd on it, but it was like a fucking like.
I've smoked a lot of weed in one session before,
That-
so.
Yeah.
Bunchy's fucking. He's the top. He's the Snoop Dogg of all people that I've ever heard.
Yeah? I've never smoked with them.
That fool, me and my
China boy?
me and my fat homie Mondo. We
Oh,
were,
yeah. Oh, remember the story you told me he was trying to fucking bench press? It was badass and it slipped out of his hand and boom!
Oh,
Dude, he dropped weight on his chest, bro.
that's.
But anyways, me and that fool were smoking with Bunchies one time, and me and him were already passed out, and Bunchies was still fucking going strong, dude.
Fuck.
That fool was like a chimney, bro, like Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa combined. And me and that fool were just like tapping out. We're like, please,
No more.
stop, bro.
I don't want any.
I just want to sleep now.
That's the best part, going to sleep after, just fucking mellowed out, relax.
That's not a sleep, bro. That's an unconsciousness.
Yeah, right? The fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
That's
So,
funny.
is there anything else, like any other stories you guys wanted to touch up on, or should we close it?
I did want to give a shout out to Ronnie because he had left me a message the other day and he was saying that he's listening to our podcast so much, my cousin Ronnie, and he's saying that we're pretty much creating new phrases.
Right.
So on one of our podcasts, you didn't hear this one yet because you're not caught up, but we had talked about they say that some people say that your life is being written, and then you ever have that moment where you're like, oh wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. They say it's because the writer backspaced what he was gonna have you say, and he rewrote something different. So like now he says whenever people come up like, oh, I was gonna tell you something but I forgot, he tells people you got backspace, son. So like anytime now anybody comes up to you and you're like, oh, I was gonna tell you something but I forgot, you throw in their face, you got backspace, son.
You leave it at that. You don't even.
You don't elaborate, leave it at that.
One day, there's gonna be people who don't even know what the backspace button is.
Fuck, I
Oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because all it is a little arrow now on the phone.
Yeah, they don't even say backspace, yeah.
Yep. I didn't even think about that.
But I think it's really cool that we're almost creating fads,
Right.
you know?
We're gonna have a
And-
fucking T-shirt that says "You got backspaced" on it.
Yeah, you got
weenie
backspace.
clapped.
I'm telling you, but it's a good feeling because like we always tell people, and we say it almost every episode, we didn't create this for viewers. We created it for memories to being on the internet for me and him. Someday my great grandkids will be able to look back and see me and be like, that's how my grandpa Eric was.
Right.
You know, like because we don't have anything to go back and see our grandparents, our great grandparents in their island. We just go off our memory. You know, they're gonna be able to come back and see my grandpa Eric was a fool. You know, my
Right.
uncle Gabe was a fool. Man, I wish I would have known them. I wish I'd lived in that time to be with them because they were funny. Or my dad, Xander. You know what I mean? Like, so we did this as like almost
Like I had told him like that, and I had said like I put it in the way of like this is like the time capsule of the Vasquez
Yes.
family.
yeah.
This is like the time capsule of the Vasquez family. That's why we want to get a bunch of our different cousins, maybe cousins that don't even have our last name, like just get a bunch of cousins and like family members. So like my great grandkids, like you could say, could like look back and be like, damn, that was like the people he grew up with, or like that's the people that helped raise him, or like that's the people like he used to hang out with all the time. And so like now you're in that fucking time capsule, so people are gonna be
forever,
like,
dude.
damn, back in 2021, like fucking, I wish I would have knew that fool.
Yeah. And like you always say, you love coming around because the way we are, like we are who we are. Like we're nothing anything crazy or special,
I
but
love visiting here, man.
Well,
I
we
love
just-
you guys' little family.
yeah, we just have a way of the way we are. You know what I mean? And like we're trying to capture that. You know?
Right, and
So-
I've like had many friends who have like where I've got to like meet parents or like hear their stories and shit, and I've always been like, there's nobody like my fucking family, dude.
And I'm sure all your friends are like, I like your family.
Fuck yeah,
Cool.
every single one, dude.
That's
Yeah.
how it is with me too, man.
Yep.
Everybody loves the family.
Yeah, we have a fucking different family, dude.
Yeah. For
Like
sure.
we have a family people would be jealous of,
I like
for
to believe
sure.
that too.
for sure. Like just the stories that I have with different sections of the Vasquez family. Like, cause I feel like there's like if the Vasquez family or like our bloodline were like a brand like WWE. Like there's different portions. Like you have like the fucking family, like
You have the SmackDown, you have the
the
Raw, you have the NXT.
You have people who are more fucking mentally fucked up than the others.
Yeah.
Seen some more shit than the others.
Yeah,
Or some
100%.
people you have like the
The
fucking
good and the bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. There's so many fucking hilarious stories that we want to try to cover on this podcast. And there's even more stories. Now, I'm only fucking 17. I'm turning 18 this year, which is the most absurd fucking thought. Like, you talk about, like, there gets a point, like, you talked about, like, it gets to the point where you're like, damn, like, I want to stop having birthdays because it fucking sucks. I had that this year. I was like, fuck, man, I'm going to be an adult.
Yeah. After high school, if you don't go to college after high school, it's just work. Work
Yeah.
and responsibilities, dude, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school thinking, I can't fucking wait to get out of here. I fucking hate high school. And now I think back and I'm like, those are the most funnest times of my life.
Right.
But it is what it is. You know, you live and you learn.
Right.
Is there anything you want to plug? Your social media? Anything you shout out to any craft beers? To any people? Lily? Anyway? Oh, we're not supposed to say her name?
Lily who?
She don't watch.
So, just very quickly to wrap things up, it was fun having you on. It was just as funny as I thought it'd be. One of my
It was a
fucking
pleasure.
favorite episodes.
It was a pleasure.
And to all the people who maybe aren't involved in this family or don't know us personally, are just fucking fans, you know, you are from a friend of a friend of a friend, or you're just a friend of mine or whatever, and you enjoy him and his fucking character. This guy's a fucking fool. So you will see him more, hopefully, during this fantasy football season and interviews and shit. So yeah, you'll get more of him, and then we'll for sure have you on again.
He's going to be on the podcast again
Hopefully
for sure.
I'll have my
Sure.
OnlyFans up and running by
And I'll be able to plug that. If you're into belly buttons, check me out.
I mean, just say slut for money, baby.
That's fucking hilarious. Anyways, you can follow the podcast at Stuck in Elevator Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. You can follow the podcast SIAE Podcast on Twitter. If you want to find me, I fucking rebranded. I'm Tis Xander on Twitch and on Twitter. TIS Xander on Twitch and Twitter. And you can find me at probably Xander OP3 on YouTube. If you want to reach out to him, he runs the Instagram account, Stuck in Elevator. Like I said, we like fucking making these episodes at the time capsule of our family. We had another one on that, one of my fucking favorite video episodes. I'm fucking hoping these microphones hold up. We need it. I can't wait till this. I hope that this podcast gets big enough to where we could just put money into these fucking microphones.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes they're just fucking like.
They look top notch to me, but I don't.
They fucking cost top notch.
Yeah.
They look like badass microphones I've never seen.
This one's never worked in a video. Except
That
with
was
great.
my
the
loud
one
ass
with-
voice, I'm sure. Even if it is low, it's probably loud.
So hopefully we could get something more top notch and get fucking a little bit more profesh. But for the time being, it's fucking dope. Shout out to this food for getting on. Thanks for this food for getting on. You'll see him more
Thanks
in
for
the.
having me, guys.
Yep, it's been fun.
Big day tomorrow.
Big day tomorrow.
Draft day, baby.
Yep,
Yes,
I have the
sir.
fucking advantage in that shit. Number 3 overall, baby, my lucky number.
I'm going to get it from the fucking underdog. Watch. I'm not going to have a third round. I'm going to win that shit.
I'm right in the middle, so.
After I win this year, I'm going to put that fucking championship belt on and I'm going to give you all a weenie clap.
That's fucking funny.
Let
Well-
that one sit.
Well, that's that.
Yes, sir.
Let's fist bump in the middle.
Yeah.